You see, one thing I just know in my life is that I have never struggled for anything.
You've never struggled for anything?
I just look back. I have never struggled for anything. I just live my life as it is, and
new chapters open and you just enter into it.
I just enter it. When I became born again, people did not believe it. Dealing with God and dealing by God.
Dealing with God and dealing by God. What's the difference?
Dealing with God, I know how I deal with my God. You know how you deal with your God. Dealing by God, I know how God deals with me. If God may tell me something, He may not tell you. And when I'm going according to what God told me, or what God tells me rather, He founded that secondary school there. No, not
Okay.
You know, this place was a former national primary school.
Okay, this
But
structure.
now, the structure. But now we have moved them to the college sites because we have expanded the place. But he started it in 2009. So that time we call it WORD HOPE College.
WORD HOPE College.
But after her death, I changed the name to Deborah Animashaun Memorial College.
Deborah Animashaun Memorial College, in memory of the Deborah of your life.
Yes. Another song I used to sing out now. Ìfẹ́ tó fẹ́ mi kò lẹ́gbẹ́, ìfẹ́ tó fẹ́ mi kò lóǹkà, ó dàdé ẹ̀gún kèmí lé dàdé iye, ìyà tó tọ́ sí mi ló jẹ́, Jésù Olúwa ẹ má ṣe olùgbàlà. Jesus loves me.
Jesus loves you especially.
Special, very, very specially. But I remember there was an incident that there was a particular band, the band that's dead now, that when you play in the same party with him, your instruments must get spoiled. So at that particular party, I was playing side by side with the band. And my instrument, my prayer got burnt.
Burnt like that, went up in flames, sir.
And you know what I did?
What did you do, sir?
I went to the man.
To that same man? And what did you say to him?
He said, borrow me your own. He didn't say no, you know.
So he borrowed you?
Because we were not playing at the same time. You play 1 hour, I play 1 hour.
Let's ask you that, how was life when you were playing Apola in those days? What was the social life like? And were there, what can I call it? Were there seduction from women? I mean, trying to get you to make you a man with 2, 3, 4 wives. Were you able to manage women? Because you have a very good stature, you are tall, handsome, and you have a fine stature, and you were a musician, a socialite.
The level, man. Women are part of the music industry. You cannot run away from them. That's the problem. All of us. So, let me just put it simply that I had my share of that. You cannot run away from women. Because they will run after you. How do you know what to mean by the highs and the lows?
Yes, because in most cases, some women will say, "Mo kàn fẹ́ bímọ joy, mi ò fẹ́ owó ẹ̀, mo kàn fẹ́ bímọ joy, mo like bó ṣe ń ṣe, you are so handsome, you are fine." You know, those are kind of women of those days.
There were lots of that, but all the same, I didn't get into the trap of marrying them.
Oh, you are not entangled into.
I was never.
Maybe giving them a child that will look exactly like you, sir. Okay.
Outside my wedlock, no.
That's a powerful one. That's strong discipline. I don't know how you escaped that.
Was I disciplined? I don't know. You see, one thing I just know in my life is that I have never struggled for anything.
You've never struggled for anything?
I just look back. I have never struggled for anything. I just live my life as it is, and
new chapters open and you just enter into it.
I just enter it.
Let's go back to you now, sir. In those days, when you succeeded in music, you went into business, you ran a hotel, a successful hotel in this Ibadan.
Apola nightclub.
Apola nightclub. There were a lot of asun, enjoyment. All the people that are coming from Ilesha, from Oshogbo, Lagos. The access was, it was burning with enjoyment, with a lot of, celebration and all that. Then you are also selling products from Benin Republic through Ibadan. The Western region down to Ivory Coast, Ghana, and all the rest. So, how were you able to throw all this glittering lifestyle, successful lifestyle in quote, and you now came to this back street to be doing what for God?
It was not easy, my brother. The first time let's see how I got born again first.
Okay, sir. How did you get born again?
Before you can become a minister, you must become a born again. The bona fide child of God. A lady witnessed Jesus to me.
A lady?
Yes, a lady. Who later became my wife.
My Lord Jesus Christ.
Because when I met her, and I didn't have the intention of getting married to her.
Oh, you are not planning to even marry her? You are still enjoying yourself in the world then?
But one thing followed another, and we became attracted to each other. And that's why the type of lady I could marry.
She's from where, sir? She's from the same place with you? Or?
No, she's from Edo.
Edo State. Oh my God, that's interesting.
Though she's late now.
Late? And she happens to be your first wife, or your wife, you didn't have any?
No, not my first wife. That's my first wife.
Okay.
And she came into my life in 1981. And she did so much for me. She made sacrifices for me. I could not forget her till I die. He founded that secondary school there. No, not.
Okay.
You know, this place was a former National Primary School.
Okay, this
But
structure.
now, the structure. But now we have moved them to the college sites because we have expanded the place. But he started it in 2009. So that time we call it WORD HOPE College.
WORD HOPE College.
But after her death, I changed the name to Deborah Animashaun Memorial College.
Deborah Animashaun Memorial College, in memory of the Deborah of your life.
Yes.
She had issues for you, children?
Oh, sure.
Boys and girls.
Sure.
So what was her commitment? She took you out of the world into Christ.
I would say yes. Because I remember I met her at a party and approached her, you know, with this boyfriend, girlfriend mentality. But she then began to tell me about Jesus. And because well, she was so courteous, it was so courteous, beautiful, patient. She has so many qualities. And she was very persuasive. Very, very persuasive. And we got married.
Eventually.
And she changed my life. Or let me say, God changed my life.
Through her?
Through her. That, you cannot argue that. I know what I'm talking about. God changed my life through her. And when she was witnessing Christ to me, when things happened to me, spiritually, I began to see good signs and all that. And I remember when I went to her parents, the father said, if you want to marry my daughter, you must be a Christian.
If you want to marry my daughter, you must be a Christian.
And I wanted to marry her. And
so there's no option?
No option. But she was so nice, persuasive and all that. So we got married. I could say a lot of things about her.
How many years did you stay in the marriage before she passed away?
We got married in 1982, finally. And she passed on in 2018. About 36 years now.
36 years now. Oh my God.
36 years.
And what was the lesson you learned from that union about women? I mean, will you say you can replace her, you can't replace that kind of woman again?
No.
You can't replace her?
No. I tried it, but
it didn't work.
It cannot work. But the truth.
You tried to replace her to marry another person.
But it didn't work. As far as I'm concerned, there can never be another Deborah for me.
Will you say she was really your missing rib? Will you say she was your missing rib that God found for you? You know, there's this perception about missing rib.
There's one thing. It's a long story, my brother. This could be mystical, this could be either mystical or spiritual and whatever. Way back in 1966, 67, I was living in Shogunle, the same Shogunle.
Near Oshodi, I know the place.
Yeah. And with a friend of mine, late now, Michael Yadwa.
Michael Yadwa, from Edo State.
From Edo State, from Auchi.
Auchi, okay.
I was in courtship with a lady, Bolaji, and I never had any sexual relationship with her. We were just, those days were better. Just talking, and at that time, my friend Michael Yadwa was jilted by a girl.
Okay, the lady you are in courtship with, you didn't have sex with her? Okay.
I did not. And myself and Michael Yadwa were so close. He will wear my clothes, I will wear his own. So when you come to our rooms then, you will know who is the owner, who owns this one. We are just interwoven. I remember the day I told him that I will be leaving him, and that was in the formative years of my band, and that I would go to mission to be leaving. So Michael wept.
Marshall.
He was holding the blade, razor blade. I was trying to pet him. He just said, leave me. Just give me a cut here. We were so close.
Girl. I know the affinity was too much.
Oh, yeah. But what I'm going is this. That lady was from Edo.
The one that jittered? Okay.
The
Bolaji?
Bolaji was from Edo.
Okay.
The one that did tell my friend was from Okitipupa.
In Ondo State?
The daughter of a former minister, Olubi.
Olubi. Okay.
Who was then the Minister for Communications. And Michael nearly broke down. I said, don't break down. So I joined him with Bolaji together. I said, since I have not had anything with this lady,
Jesus Christ,
you can take her.
Jesus Christ. This is the deep brotherhood. This is the peak of it all. I can't believe this.
And they got married.
It can only happen in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. They married eventually.
Yes, they got married. It is late now. But where I'm going is this. There was an herbalist that we used to visit in those days, myself and Michael. And each time the man would consult his oracle on my behalf, he will always end it up with eulogizing Edo people. He knew how he used to do it.
He will be praising them, giving kudos to Edo people.
He would tell him that you will get married to an Edo woman. He said, immediately. When actually the Edo lady that I was courting that time, I transferred her to my friend.
Yes.
I am still saying Edo. Forget it.
You took it for granted. Okay.
But I had some marriages before I met this my wife. But they were not all from Edo, and we didn't end well. Though they have children for me.
Maybe from Ibadan, from Ijebu, from Ilorin,
But when I met this lady from Edo, I had a very peaceful marriage. fruitful. And later, I became a Christian. And what I am today, by the grace of God, through that lady, I couldn't forget her. I can't forget her.
I'm surprised. She passed away at which age? Was she advanced in age?
She was not.
So what happened?
She had this renal failure, kidney.
And she's not drinking?
She had never, she had never taken alcohol seriously. But she told me that, as a student, she used to take some these little things like that. You can, I was a heavy drunkard. I was a heavy drunkard. I remember in those days when I was going to Lagos through Badeku Town, because Chagamu Road was not an express then. I was always jam-packed with accidents and all that. I would live in Ife-Ibadan. I would touch many places, my friends' places along the road, and I'll be taking one bottle each. So before I get to Lagos, I would have taken more than 10 bottles of beer. Yes.
That's kudos to you, sir.
That was my life.
In those days.
That was my life. I would stop at Omi, I would stop at Ilugun, I would stop at Badeku Town, I would stop at Badeku, I would stop at Ife, I would stop at Wekuru. Oh no.
It was just, I don't know how to, the life of a socialite.
Okay, so that was it, but God was so kind to me. So my favorite song now, when I get to church, when I'm praying at home, is O Femi,
Ó fẹ́ mi yéye,
O Femi yeye,
ó fẹ́ tí mo ti mọ̀, ó fẹ́ mi o, ó fẹ́ mi, ó fẹ́ mi,
O Femi,
ó fẹ́ mi yéye o, ó fẹ́ tí mo ti mọ̀, ó fẹ́ mi o. Ó yẹ ká dúpẹ́, ó yẹ ká ṣọpẹ́, torí pé àrà ń sán, atẹ́gùn fẹ́. Ìjìjà kò gbé wa lọ, ó yẹ ká ṣọpẹ́.
Another song I used to sing out now. Ìfẹ́ tó fẹ́ mi kò lẹ́gbẹ́, ìfẹ́ tó fẹ́ mi kò lóǹkà. Ó dàdé ẹ̀gún kèmí lé dàdé iye, ìyà tó tọ́ sí mi ló jẹ́. Jésù Olúwa ẹ mà ṣe olùgbàlà. Jesus loves me.
Jesus loves you especially.
Very, very specially.
I want to ask
all I went through
in your life, near-death experiences, when you were a socialite, womanizing, drinking, and still yet it gave you a good health.
Practicing juju and
juju, charms. Because that world was even going that a lot of people fear musicians in those days. They say all of them were chasing themselves with juju. You can't.
I don't chase people with juju.
Okay, you didn't chase with juju, but did people chase with juju, sir? Because
I can only remember an occasion. Whether you are chasing with juju or you are not, how do I know? I wouldn't know. But I remember there was an incident that there was a particular band, the band that's dead now, that when you play in the same party with him, your instruments must get spoiled. So at that particular party, I was playing side by side with this the band. And my instrument, my player got burnt.
Burnt like that, went up in flames, sir.
You know what I did?
What did you do, sir?
I went to the man.
To that same man? And what did you say to him?
He said, follow me your own. He didn't say no,
So he borrowed you.
Because we were not playing at the same time. You play 1 hour, I play 1 hour. Borrow me your own now. So you gave it to...
I knew he was the source of the whole thing.
I suspected he was. God, I've been told. I was very free with everybody.
Maybe inú mi mọ́jọ́ ògùn lọ, àyà níní jó ògùn lọ. Inú mi mọ́jọ́ ògùn lọ, àyà níní jó ògùn lọ.
Something like that.
Oh my God. Because there are some musicians in those days too. If you want to sing with them at party, you start vomiting blood. It was rampant among the Fuji family and some other people. Did you witness that kind of thing?
No, I did not.
But this one, your instrument just went in flame.
And then,
Is the guy from Edo or from Yoruba land?
The man?
Yes, sir.
It's on the kitchen.
Was he still alive? Is he still alive?
It's late.
Can you mention his name, sir?
I don't want to. That's not a good thing.
That was not a good memory.
No.
So you have to buy those equipment back that went
Oh, of course, yes.
Cost you money.
Of course, yes.
So after then, when you want to meet him at that time, what do? Do you dodge him or you?
We never met again. We never met. We met, but we didn't play side by side.
So that the jazz will not catch you side by side.
Well, I don't know.
A lot of things you saw.
I used to tell my children, I've seen a lot of things in this life. I shouldn't be here speaking. I'm telling you. I didn't know even how you are asking God, am I qualified to be a minister of God? But God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, and God takes unilateral decisions that you cannot query. Who are you
to query God?
You cannot. He just declares something unilaterally. And that was it.
I want to ask that, what was your most challenging moment in life? A moment that you nearly took your own life and say, it's enough.
Oh, that was when I was young. You may be to remember. This was 1950, between 1955 and 56, no, this is 56, 57. In those days, King's College was the best secondary school in Nigeria. And many eminent today attended King's College. Like Dr. Kuku of
Kuku Hospital.
Kuku Hospital, Onosode.
The late Onosode, the boardroom guru.
Any of them like that. So I took exam to King's College. I was very brilliant in the school. And I was invited for interview. Now, on the day I was to go, a day to the day we had to go for the interview. I searched for the letter of interview. I could not find it.
Oh, the letter for the interview that he gave you mysteriously disappeared.
I didn't find it. I said, well, this is end of life. And I said, I'm going to kill myself.
You wanted to jump into the lagoon, or you
No.
want to sleep on the train station or something?
No. I was in my village then.
In Ota there, near Ota.
And, in those days, I don't know whether they still do it, because Nigeria lost a lot of things. In those days, when our mothers in those days, women in those days, when they wanted to go and sell kola nuts in the market, there was this big pots, very giant like this.
Giant pots.
We lost all that. They will soak the kola nut there
Oh. I think I have a memory.
to soften it.
Yes,
You have
soften
to
it.
peel it.
Yes. And Obi, the one they brought from the market with the blue back.
Can you find them?
No, sir, I don't think
You
so.
can't find them now.
I don't.
I went to a village to evangelize around Oshun after Ife. I saw kola nut trees, cocoa trees, all dead.
Oh,
That's another chapter.
it's worth crying for, sir.
Oh, yes.
So you wanted to commit suicide then, sir. Back to that.
So, there are a lot of that kola nuts in the pot in those days. And you know, I just took a calabash. I went to one of the pots. I just took the water, very acidic water.
Jesus Christ.
I drank 3 calabash.
It's
So
dangerous.
let me just die.
For not making it to King's College.
Yes.
The most prestigious school in Nigeria.
I was not sick for 1 hour.
What happened? Nothing happened to you. The boy that was to kill himself. But God is not ready to kill you.
Nothing happened. I was eating my eba and all that.
So you're even born inside Gary. You like Eba naturally.
Oh, too much. Up to now. So that time I wanted to kill myself. I didn't die. Apart from that, I couldn't remember another time that I wanted to die.
That thing really hit you then.
Oh, yes.
That you didn't make it to King's College.
Only 2 of us were taken from our school in Ota. The other brother is now dead too. He died as chairman of Adodo.
I don't do Ota local government.
He's dead now. Boyega Salami.
Boyega Salami, honorable, late.
We used to know him as Sabitu Salami in those days,
Sabitu Salami,
in the school.
Sabitu. He made it to King's College.
Yes, he made it.
And you lost your own letter mysteriously. I wanted to use.
And you know what? 2 days after the interview, I found the letter.
It is bad. It's so sad, really.
Very sad.
Oh my God.
The room we were sleeping in Adekunle in those days was a windowless room. Can you imagine that?
And the windowless room, the mosquitoes and all the rest.
And no table, no chair. You will just prostrate like this
On
and
the
you'll be
floor.
writing.
I understand it now. I understand. Can you imagine? That's real, almost like a punishment.
I didn't see it as punishment then. So I was saying that on the 3rd day or 2nd of the interview, I saw the letter. And it was in the same place that I looked for it some 2 days previous in our room.
Oh God.
I was saying the room was windowless, so anytime you want to look for anything in the afternoon, you have to put on a lamp. We call it Atokpa Yoruba, with wick and oil and search for everything. I couldn't find it. But I didn't find it. In the interview, I found it.
Can you imagine? That's what can I call that one? That is mysterious.
Very mysterious.
Maybe God didn't want you to go to King's College. Maybe, or I don't know.
Could we attribute that to God? I wouldn't know.
So how did you lose your mom?
But one thing is this. You see, God, hey, the Alpha and the Omega. I remember one day I was playing in my own hotel, vehicles here and there, we were drinking and all that and all that. And one of my classmates in the Francis school just came. In fact, he became the Olota that died before this one.
Yes, he handsome Olede, the handsome one.
Was my junior in the school.
The handsome Olota Fota, fair complexion. The one Obasanjo dealt with some time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, when they went to his farm, the boys attacked him after he left power. So I think the Olota faced some backlash from some military people. I don't know, maybe they jumped into the palace, I didn't even know. So, but it's okay.
I don't know. So he just came to my hotel that day. That time, I think he was lecturing at...
yes, I was a teacher.
Is
he at Sarudin?
Down. I had to the comprehensive.
Okay, sir.
Just came to my hotel. He said, and he said, you do? I said, yes. I was a senior in the school. And I senior him by 1 or 2 years. He said, you that didn't further your education, he said, look at us now. He mentioned some names. We went to secondary school, we went to university. He said, we are not as rich as you are now. We are not as popular as you are now. Who knows us? He said, that is life. That's why I've never struggled for anything. I've never struggled for anything.
God just make it fall on your lap.
That's...
So how did you eventually stop your hotel business, all those?
Everything changed completely. I got born again in 1981, got married to my wife in 1982, and I was still playing music. But it got to a time, I think God knowingly forced me to an impossible corner.
He burst into an impossible corner.
That's why it just boxed me there. I couldn't get out. I said, this is too much. And how? I was driving a Peugeot with Volvo.
Yeah, Volvo was very expensive in those days. Volvo.
I was the first person to buy a new Volvo in Ibadan.
The first person to buy a new Volvo.
In
Volvo car.
The first person also to ride a Range Rover in Ibadan.
First person to ride a Range Rover to Ibadan.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. That is Chief Idou Animashaun, the Apola King, first to buy a Volvo, first to buy a Range Rover in Ibadan.
Yeah. Ajibola of what's the name of the university in Abeku Christian University.
Okay. Christian. Oh yeah, Bola Ajibola. That's Chief Bola Ajibola, the former Nigerian Minister of Attorney General and former lawyer at The Hague.
The former judge.
Former judge of the International Court.
He saw my own Volvo. The second third day he went to buy it.
He saw your own Volvo. Your own Volvo.
Yes, he saw it.
It was.
Oh my God, that was 1973.
Oh God.
God, I've seen quite a lot. God a lot.
Automobiles. In those days, you have the lush fund, you have the luxury of wealth, money, and.
How much was Volvo car then? Less than 6,000.
Yeah.
Brand new. But that was money in those days.
That was money, yeah. I remember when I was growing under my dad in the early 80s, a Volkswagen was 3,000 naira. I think Volkswagen was just becoming costly.
So
you sold off your hotel, you left your business, and you went for Christ.
And what really happened was this. As for hotels, I never had a permanent place. I was writing, I would rent a space and just turn it to a hotel, and so I didn't have any difficulty in just easing myself up. But then, I got born again in 1981. I was still playing my music up to 1984. And that time I've gotten married to my late wife. She didn't like it really.
She didn't like?
She didn't like me to play music. And that's, you know, I said earlier, dealing with God and dealing by God. So God began to deal with me. I lost my Range Rover, I lost my Volvo, I lost another 504. Volvo had an accident. The Range Rover got knocked for no reason. So things became so terrible. I said, well, let me give in to God. And God was good to me, you know. When I obeyed God, I became a Christian, I became a minister of God. I came here in 1988, as I said. And from 1990 up to today, I've never used my cover to buy a car, a vehicle. People just bring it to this village. What do you expect again from God?
They just take, Daddy, take.
They just give it them.
That's the grace of God.
So anything that I would have lost when I was struggling with God, God had returned them triple. And on top of all that, I'm in Christ, which is the greatest thing that can happen to anybody. No, that's the truth.
Before we round up, because we're still going to come back for another day. When you look at the church today, you being a church leader, and you hear about an apostle sleeping with actresses, an apostle doing fake miracle, money alert, an apostle using police to harass people because they criticize him, and you listen to people that are using charms to gather crowd in their church with crowd, and a lot of things are going wrong, money conscious evangelism, people that are saying that people should pay money before praying, people that are selling, they say blood of Jesus inside keg and they sell it at an amount, or people that are monetizing prayer, monetizing miracle. How do you feel as a bona fide, genuine, Christ-choosing Christian?
I will ask you a question. Have you seen all this by yourself?